Um, I am Sam. I'm Gible. I'm whatever the heck you want to call me. It's just really a gamer tag at this point. I'll probably tell everyone that I'm Gible just because I don't know. It seems sort of be my part of my fun personality, part of the lore. And if there's anyone here who wants to recognize me from another game, I'd hate to take that opportunity away from them. That's why you wear the orange beanie. I am 19. I am from Central Jersey, so it's about a 40-minute drive from my house to the game. So I'm going to be getting sleep. I'm going to have that advantage already. I am a computer science student currently studying at Indiana University. I host my own game. I've played a couple games. I've been playing orgs for a long time, and I'm just really excited to play Stranded. So I've been making my rounds around the United States in the past year, which is, I believe, my first LRG, if you want to call it that, was Late Night Amazing Race, which I won with Harmony back in January, February. After that, I hosted my own game in April, Survivor at IU Season 2. Then I was the last minute alternate for the Challenge Great Lakes, and I believe I got 6th out of 10. And after that, I believe 3 days later, I was on Surviving Bloomington, which I did pretty dang well in. You'll just have to wait for the episodes to drop to see how that played out. So I've been playing orgs for a long time, and I gotta tell you, the landscape is completely different. Doing the challenge, the very first thing I did, like even when we were still in the pregame area, I was already walking up, I was pulling people aside, I'm like, yo, I get a good vibe from you, let's work together. And it came off super sketchy. Like, you can listen to the podcast of that show, everyone, including the host, knew how sketchy I was, and nobody wanted to work for me, and I think I got voted in every single episode except for the first one. After that, I went on Surviving Bloomington, and I was like, all right, I'm going to hold back a little bit. Instead of going up to every individual person and trying to work with them, I want people to want to work with me. So maybe laying back a little bit, as much as it hurts my inner gamer, I have to learn how not to always be in the driver's seat. Stranded is a very different game in that it takes place over 2 days rather than the 5-day games that both of the other ones I've done are. And part of that is that it is going to have to be fast-paced. This might be the new era of Survivor in a way, in that it's just so quick. I'm going to still try not to be as gamery, like as in conversations 24/7, but I still want to lay back a little bit. I want to be able to form a solid alliance with people who I think are going to vibe, because based on what I've seen online, what I've seen through the casting pool, I think this is going to be a relatively laid back group. Are there going to be gamers there like me? Very likely. There's going to be big names in the LRG community. I'm sure of it. If you guys got me, I'm sure there's other people. But I think that in general, we have to figure out each game is its own beast. We have to find out if the group is going to be into talking strategy 24/7, if they're just going to want to talk about what their dogs' names are, if they want to say where they're from. For all I know, these are all New Jersey people, and I'm going to have that competitive events advantage. But other than that, it's really just feeling out the group and having that adaptability. Something based on how you've been speaking about Stranded in the name, maybe you're legit just going to put us out there in the woods or in the hay area and say, rough it out, no sleeping bags, you have to win the tarp, you have to win any rice, everything is going to have to be earned. And frankly, I'm down for it. Whatever you're going to throw at me, I'm completely ready for. For all I know, this might be a big merge. That's my headcanon I just came up with. Maybe we're just going to merge at 18, or merge at 12, or merge at 14. I have no idea how many people are going to be out there. For all I know, it's 28. But yes, this is dangerously fun. There's nowhere to hide, but there's always some wiggle room with these games. If I get New Era, if you make me pick a box, if I got a Monty Hall, if I get Do or Die, I'm going to have to figure out how I want to play my cards. And again, it's all about adaptability in these LRGs, because every new game is a new beast. And I am just ready to tackle this challenge. So I'm going to tell everyone that I'm 21. That way, when there's any drinking rewards, I'm going to be able to participate. Other than that, no, I'm kidding. Okay. We'll cut that part out. I do plan on being truthful about my age, just because I also know that going into my first, second, and third games, there were people who already knew who I was. So if I came into this and I was like, hey, I'm 24, or I'm older, or I graduated, I'm a grad student, whatever, there are going to be people who, maybe even if I don't know it, they're gonna be like, I saw you on Great Lakes, I know that you're actually 19. So I find it's best to be truthful. If you go into a game and you have to come up with this whole persona of this is where I'm from, this is who I am, these are all the people I know, it often you mix up yourself and you don't want to reveal those personal details about yourself and at risk of foiling your own identity, so you lose out on these social connections. For that reason, I'm gonna be honest, if people just think I'm like this young kid there to have fun, and maybe I know a little bit about Survivor, maybe they can take me under their wing. I can be their little younger brother. And it's often those kids at the end where they're like, oh yeah, he had a great social game. I want to vote for him to win. And that's the ultimate goal, is to win the game. I'd say if I was going to play a game, I would be like Terry Dietz from Survivor Panama. I find myself to be relatively social, very likable when I can sort of turn on that charisma switch. I am generally pretty good in challenges. If the challenge or Surviving Bloomington has taught me anything, I'll be pretty fun to be around. I think that people are gonna want to keep me in because of my charisma, and as long as I can hide that I have this love for Survivor and that I know all these secret trivia and I know every strategy, I know what Onion Alliance is +1, I know all these buzzwords I can throw at you. I'm sure the people in the comments are gonna love it. But I think like just hiding that, and I forget what the damn question is, but making sure that I'm playing a social game like Terry is the ultimate goal. So the first mistake is that I don't actually look for idols. I mean, unless it is a big open field like I think it is, or you hide it in the bird cage, I cannot be bothered. Like, I would rather spend, especially in a 2-day game, I would rather spend all my time talking to people than looking for the idol. And another motto that I have is if I get idled out at the end of the day, I get idled out. That's the end. That being said, let's say I walk into camp and the key is on the ground and I find it and I go and I find the beware advantage, whatever the idol is. I pick it up and Susie's there. Again, it's all about adaptability, in that if we're in that early stage where it's like we're all big one kumbaya tribe, it might be the smart move to try and be like, hey, this is a tribe idol, going into a swap or a merge, this is for us. That being said, I mean, again, we have to base it off of how Susie is. You say that Susie isn't necessarily working with me, I might try and foster a relationship, be like, hey, we have this bond now. You saw this, I'm not gonna tell anyone. You're not gonna tell anyone, and we're gonna work with this. In general, that's my off the bat strategy. If we're in a bigger tribe, maybe I blindside Susie, who knows, but that's where the cards gotta lie. That's the moment where if I had the idol, I'd play it on them. I'm very much an advocate for playing idols on other people. That being said, I go to Susie, I basically, like, I spill the beans 100%. If nothing else, I want a jury vote at the end. We might be in pre-jury, but I want a jury vote, and if I don't get a jury vote, I get someone to be friends with after the game, because I live in Jersey and I might be able to hang out with these kids. But for these people, I mean, I go to Susie, I'm like, hey, if you have anything, play it. You didn't hear it from me, but everyone is voting for you. I do probably end up voting Susie unless she tells me I have an advantage, extra vote, steal a vote, whatever. But I mean, that's my move. I spill the beans often. We'll see if it actually plays out like that, but that's my headcanon strategy. I'll give you a little bit of an anecdote, because people still text me to this day asking why I did this. When I played the Challenge Great Lakes, the cast of Surviving Bloomington was already public. And in the Great Lakes cast, there were 2 people who I knew were going to play another game, and that was Mira and Eric. And the very first thing that I did was I went to everyone and said, can we vote out Mira and Eric? I don't play with those connections. I mean, every game's a new game, but part of it was just like, okay, I need to get people to not think that I'm pre-gaming, so I'm just gonna vote them out, and then I can play my own game there. But these LRG people, I mean, you make it far, you vote them all out, or they vote you out. In the end, you have to backstab one of them. So sort of cultivating that connection and seeing who it is, case-by-case basis. I mean, I don't intend to rely on that, but we'll see how the game goes. Morality, it doesn't really play that much. You can ask my friends. I lie a lot in my daily life, enough to the point where they call me the opposite of a truth teller, whatever that is. But people, like, I just have to get these people to trust me, and then that's half the battle. I've already won. So I'm not really worried about being like, oh, I can't vote this person out because I'm too close with them, or I think they're gonna win, or whatever it is. I'm not worried about that. I'm only worried about myself. Maybe that isn't a great strategy to say in an interview, but that's my truth. The viewers can expect a lot of fun, a lot of great shots, because you're going to be able to see my beanie from 6 miles away. Another reason I don't look for the idol. But I am going to be dangerous. I am going to be scampering around. I'm going to be doing a lot behind the scenes. You're going to get a lot of really fun confessionals from me. I promise. I have more taglines in my confessional. I just got to save them for when I get out there. Look out for that. look out for a lot of fun content. I know it's going to be a great season. We're going to make it dynamic, and we're going to see how the cards play out. Root for me. You're part of the Giblet family. Reach out, put me in the comments, and just root for me to win.
Well, will Sam survive being stranded? Only time will tell.